Why is it that I or we or some of us hate being alone or require the company of others? Are we scared? And if so, of what? At some point, hanging out with someone turns from a good activity to a bad one. To get attached to someone almost like a parasite. So, what really defines loneliness? Philosophically, I don't think it's the act of just being alone. So, if we're going to go back to the last question, we don't like being alone, not to be lonely. But what does lonely even mean? Well, if it's not the act of being alone, I personally think it's when one is just not content with himself and his thoughts. You seek the thoughts of others to keep you company. You can't stay alone because you're yet to understand yourself, and you're not giving yourself the time to. Instead of learning who you are in silence, you distract yourself, whether that be on your phone, or talking with other people, or constantly being on calls with friends. We, as in our generation, are not used to silence, and I say this out of experience. It's become uncomfortable in this world, in this new aged world, where there's noise from either heavily populated areas or music or podcasts or playing a YouTube video in the background, just like this one. We don't get to experience silence anymore. When waiting in line for something, just pop your head up and you realize everyone is either on their phone, has headphones on, or just talking to someone. No one is truly waiting alone, in silence. We skip the important parts, neglecting the time alone or the quote filler parts. And we know without darkness there can be no light. It just becomes monotone, robotic, and just unhuman. So, to answer the question of why we feel lonely, it's because we're not used to this. We're not used to being alone and sitting and just not doing anything. We always have to constantly be doing something, which is why we find it uncomfortable to be lonely.